What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, we have an overview of the May dev stream today. If you watched our bingo video from yesterday where I tried to predict things from the dev stream, my predictions were apparently too ambitious because this was not the best dev stream at all as far as, showing new stuff. But it is the last dev stream until TennoCon in mid-July, so they're definitely going to be holding off on some hard hitters for the TennoCon dev stream. So we'll just take that into account when we're going through this stuff. Before we get into it, though, make sure you're subbed to the channel and all that. Make sure you check the live stream channel as well to watch when we go live. We did live react to this dev stream on Twitch. So if I don't go over every little thing, it's just because I didn't think it was important enough or I forgot. So, yeah. But if you want to watch the whole dev stream, go for it. All right, let's start off in order of things I put in this list. So, first thing overall, the Echoes of Zariman update is scheduled for June 9th on all platforms. DE did want to make sure that this was clear, that they potentially can make it not June 9th. So that date is subject to change, but they put June 9th on here, so they must really think it's coming out there if they're putting a date on this stuff. So what you're going to be getting in this update on June 9th, a good amount of things, but the main things will be 2 new Incarnon weapons, which we do have some details on. We know what the Incarnon modes will do, so hooray for them hovering over it and me reading it. Some new arcanes, 5 new arcanes if you have the stats of all of them, which are also subject to change, and 2 new ephemeras, which I'm not going to really show in the video today, but they are new ephemeras, and they will be purchasable for rep from Cavallero, which is the Zariman Syndicate guy. One of the Zariman Syndicate guys. Additionally, there's Operator Void Sling changes, which we'll go over in more detail here in a little bit. Eximus Overguard changes. Basically, they're making Eximus easier to kill. Zariman Mission changes, which is very generous way to put that line. And Loke Surges, which is something you should not even worry about because they are completely worthless. And more. Asterisks, asterisks. Okay, so let's first go over Void Sling. What's being changed with that? If you've watched all my videos, you pretty much already know what's happening because they didn't really give us much more information here. But yes, Void Sling's tweaked to bring more increased mobility by adding strafe and backward slings. So backward slings are being added back, guys. There's going to be some accuracy changes on the Void Sling itself, like where you're aiming it and all that. Now, the whole transference delay thing that people are getting annoyed by, where it's like, I can't go back and forth between my frame and operator really fast. They are claiming that is a bug. Yes, DE is claiming that the transference delay is a bug, and it was not intended. And they didn't even realize at first, so not in this update on June 9th, but in a future update afterwards, they will be trying to redo the transference back and forth to make it not as laggy. So we have 100% confirmation that is being worked on, and it sounds like it's going to be a lot of work code-wise. And honestly, my man Pablo from DE, he is like overworked. Like the way that he was talking in this dev stream today, honestly made it sound like he's doing like nearly everything. And if he's working on this too, like I'm just wondering what are the other guys doing on the balanced team? Like what are they doing? Why is Pablo put through all this work to make all these different things happen? I'm sure he likes to work hard, but like, dang, dude, we need to clone that guy or something. But yeah, moving on. Additional arcane slots for amps using arcane aperture, whatever that's supposed to mean. Basically, there's an arcane unlocker that you can buy for 20,000 rep if you've hit rank 5 with Zariman ship or whatever. So yeah, 20,000 rep to unlock an extra amp arcane slot on your operator amp, obviously. Thankfully, people don't really have many amps most of the time. Like, I think I have a bunch because I've tested things out for, like, Void Cascade and all that kind of stuff. But, like, most people probably have, like, 1 or 2 amps at most. So, like, it being kind of a high price to purchase it is not the biggest deal in the world, even though it seems like it would be. Like, I'm not going to buy an arcane unlocker for all of these. I'll probably buy it for, like, 3 or 4 of them. And that's just because I make YouTube videos on this stuff. So so there's going to be another arcane slot. Let's go over all the arcanes for these operator... actually, they're not all for operator amps. There's 1 or 2 for operator amps. But let's go over all the arcanes we have seen. And remember, they said these stats are subject to change. So don't take these numbers as, concrete what's going to be happening. Okay, so we're going to start at the top left. We got Molt Reconstruct. They already said they're going to basically be changing this one because it's too strong, according to them. All right, rank 5. This is for your Warframe. So it will like replace Arcane Energize or like Arcane Avenger or something like that. Heal yourself and allies 10 health for each point of energy spent on abilities. So let's say I cast, let's say I was playing Nyx and I was casting Psychic Bolt. I think Psychic Bolt is like 50 energy at base. So you'd multiply that 50 energy you just spent by 10. That's how much you're healing everyone. They're gonna be nerfing it already, so don't put too much stock into this. But I'm wondering if it's gonna have a radius, it's gonna have like a duration or something like that. Because the way this would work in game right now, it's like I cast one ability and I basically full heal everyone. It's not even like an ultimate ability. Like I cast Chaos, that's 75 energy, so much healing. It will just be funny. Like you're playing an Aros, just cast an Aros Pocket Sand, healed. Your teammates are healed too. So interesting idea. Definitely not for high level missions, but for like, under level like 200, level 100, whatever. It could be kind of cool. We'll see what ends up happening. Those will be 8,500 rep each from Cavallero. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now. Start stockpiling rep. Get your rep to as high as it possibly can be for the day that this comes out, June 9th, and you can buy some of these arcanes and probably go Steel Path, Thrax farm the rest of them. Oh yeah, did I mention they're making it so less Thrax enemies spawn in general. So that is going to potentially be a small nerf to the arcane farm we were doing. Moving on to the next arcane though, we've got Eternal Logistics. This is going to be for the Operator Amp. On Void Sling, 72% ammo efficiency for 8 seconds. This probably seems like the worst one of the bunch they've shown today. But at the same time, ammo efficiency for the amp could be pretty nice. If you have like all the upgrades and stuff like that, you can do a triple Propa shot. So this might make it like a quad or like 5 or 6 Propa shots back to back. So that could be kind of cool. But yeah, not really too crazy. Since we're going to have a second amp slot arcane, maybe that could be nice. But yeah, I'm not holding my breath on this one being like meta or anything like that. But decent enough. 8,500 rep per arcane. You need 21 for the max rank, so yikes. Next one, Cascadia Flare. This is going to be for secondaries. So it would like replace primary or secondary Merciless or like secondary Deadhead or whatever. On Heat status effect, plus 12% damage for 10 seconds, stacked up to 480%. So it's not super clear. I'm wondering if that's just for the heat status effects themselves, or if it's like going to be overall more damage. Because I mean, a lot of the times, like for the really good like meta pistols in the game, you're going to usually have a heat build on there to some extent. Like now this is an electric Nucor for some joking around purposes, but weapons like the Kuva Nucor, you can mod it for viral heat. You could even have a heat Kuva Nucor built in. You could have the Cycron, the Lieutenant Cycron. Yeah, that's got built-in heat. That's going to be pretty good. Atomos, like plenty of the good weapons in this game utilize heat damage because heat damage was buffed massively like a year or two ago. So look out for that one potentially being really good. Moving on, we've got Eternal Onslaught. Now, this might become the new Eidolon meta. Actually, no, I can already say right now, I think this will be 100% the new Eidolon meta arcane right now, Eternal Onslaught. So let's just go over what it does. It's for your Operator Amp. On energy depletion, 210% increased critical chance for 8 seconds. I believe what that means is that once you use all your Operator energy, that's when you get the increased crit chance. Because comparing that to Virtuous Shadow gives you 60% crit chance. This gives over triple the stats. So if it's working the way that I think it is, you will cast your Void Strike from Matter-Eye. It will drain your entire Operator energy bar, but that's fine because once you drain all your energy, you're going to be getting that increased crit chance, which should be over 100% crit chance for some of the meta amps people use. So if that's working the way I hope it does, that will be really, really good for Eidolon fights. Expect them to be easier than ever. Expect like guaranteed crits and all that. But here's the thing. If it actually is on amp energy being depleted, that's not anywhere near as good because obviously, when your amp energy is depleted, you have to wait for it to reload, and this only lasts for 8 seconds. So, yeah, potentially the Eidolon meta right there, like not even like close. Like it's triple the stats of Virtuous Shadow, which is already being used. So, moving on to the last arcane, we have Molt Augmented on kill, plus 0.24% ability strength, stacked up to 250 times. Quick maths right there. That's 60% ability strength. But as you can see, like we're missing a lot. We're missing a lot of information of what's going on here. This is for the Warframe, so if it works the way that it's described right here, permanent 60% power strength as long as you don't die or as long as you keep killing enemies, that's pretty good for lots of frames. Like I don't even need to start naming them, like Saren, Mesa, blah blah. Like everyone pretty much is gonna enjoy 60% extra power strength. But here's the thing: do you want to give up an arcane slot for that? I mean, it probably wouldn't be that bad actually. Depending on which frame you're running on. Like 60%, killing that many enemies, not for every mission that will be used. Like I'm not going to use that in a capture mission, but if I'm playing like a survival or any kind of endless, that's a good amount of power strength I can run around with. That's enough on the arcanes, but I just thought it was important to like talk about those because those are going to be the main things people are coming back for potentially on this new update. So we went over Void Sling, we went over the arcanes. Let's go over the new Incarnon shotgun. That sounds interesting. Well, we don't really have much information on it. All we know is that from this description, the Incarnon mode for the shotgun, once you like transform it or whatever, it will go from being a shotgun to becoming a pair of pistols. So let's just read the end of this description. It's a bunch of like backstory about stuff that doesn't matter. The brace of birds becomes a pair of pistols at the hands of the Void. So it's a primary shotgun that will turn into dual pistols. I'm assuming that still uses shotgun mods once you transform it. It would be weird if it started using pistol mods out of nowhere, but maybe. So as far as like strong shotgun mods you can utilize, there's Blaze. Blaze is pretty good. It's got increased heat and increased damage. There's Hunter Munitions. Now we don't usually have Hunter Munitions for pistols, so you could throw Hunter Munitions on there. Laser sight maybe, things of that nature. It's interesting. Critical deceleration or acceleration. If this is a projectile weapon, that should be pretty nice, as this is not available on pistols or rifles. So we'll see. I mean, sounds like it could be interesting. We'll see what kind of like damage this is pumping out. Let's go over the Eximus changes. So Eximus overguard has been reduced by 50%, and they've reduced the overguard and taken those numbers and put them into the health and the shields of the Eximus, which will make them overall a lot easier because overguard is much tankier than health and shields, it feels like. So yeah, just a big reduction in how tanky the Eximus are. The Nox Eximus is apparently a gigantic pain in the butt, so they're going to be changing that a little bit. And then they're going to be fixing overguard counting as health and taking viral status effect damage. So that's probably a little bit of a nerf, actually, for viral proccing the overguard, but we'll see. As far as like CC immunity and stuff like that, Pablo did comment on that, and he just said like we were trying it where they kind of take it was actually pretty interesting. They did completely acknowledge the 2 points I made where I say make overguard only on the low level planet or on the high level planets and make no overguard on the low level planets, and also make CC briefly strip some of the overguard from the Eximus. They did comment on that saying those things are just too confusing for some people. Like why is he getting stunned right now but he's not getting stunned there? Like, because if you're making it where stuns are removing small parts of overguard, it's like that can be really hard to notice for a lot of people, and also it's like the game doesn't explain things very well, so that would just make it even more confusing. Like, why is he getting stunned now but he wasn't getting stunned like a minute ago, But as far as like putting Eximus units on like low-level planets and stuff like that, they said it just makes it more fun to have the Eximus, so that's why they're not going to be doing anything like that. But they are still taking feedback, so go ahead and give them some more feedback. All right, so as far as the Incarnon dagger, we didn't really see too much about it, but we do know what the Incarnon mode for the dagger will be. That's going to be increased range and speed. Yes, I'm sorry, I had to be the bearer of bad news. The Incarnon mode for the dagger is basically just copy pasta of the Praetos. The Tonfa's Incarnon weapon, the Incarnon's going to be basically the exact same thing. They said it's going to turn from a dagger into a sword. Unless it actually unless it starts actually using sword stances instead of dagger stances, that's not turning into a sword, okay? Like, if it's just a longer range dagger, that's just a longer range dagger. That's not a sword, so. Too bad there, but we saw some of the stats. It's got 0.75 attack speed, and it's got 0.9 follow through, so those are good. Or actually, the attack speed's pretty low, but she might have had, like, Spoiled Strike or something on there. We know that she had Covert Lethality because there was a 16 initial combo, but yeah. That's pretty much it. Like, we don't know much about the Incarnon dagger. So, as far as some other quality lift changes in this June 9th update, Chrysalith fast travel. There's basically like a little portal that teleports you to the elevator when you pick up a bounty. Complete waste of dev time, but whatever. They're actually making an easier tier of bounties. Yes, you know the fact that we don't have a Steel Path bounty on the Zariman ship? You know what we should do instead? Make a lower level version of the bounty because people are complaining it's too hard. Honestly, if I was DE out and like, hey, you know what? People who are complaining this is too hard. This is literally the last planet in the game. You need a Necromech and a Railjack. You need to beat a 5-hour quest to get here. If you want to play missions here, go learn how to mod. Quit being a little baby and not wanting to change anything, and go figure out how to play the darn game. Because people complain this is too hard. This is like the 4th freaking time they've had to change stuff to make it easier for people. Just learn how to play. I don't have any problems here. Most people on my Twitch channel don't have any problems here. Maybe because they're actually watching content creators that know how to like help teach them how to play the game. Because the game doesn't do it itself. You know, it's partially DE's fault. But it's mostly the players' fault that they're refusing to learn. A lot of these guys just refuse. They're like, I just want to walk around and have fun. I don't want to have to learn how to play this game. What MMO-esque game allows you to do that? Just to never actually have to learn how to play. It's mind-blowing. Whatever. Okay, so last couple we got here, they're going to be adding teleporters to the Plains of Eidolon and all the open worlds. So you can just like basically teleport between these different points, making it pretty quick. Archwing will still be max speed and all that, so don't worry about it, but just makes it nice to teleport around. Potentially useful for Eidolon fights, for like mining and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. You got a new free color palette coming from next month, and this is probably the best color palette that's free in the game. As you see, there's lots of variety on here. So definitely pick this one up. I don't know when this is coming out, but yeah. And then as far as a couple other things, just to clean it up here at the end, there is going to be a new thing where if you are going to pick up a riven mod and you're already at max riven slots. So for example, I can't even buy any more riven slots because you can only have 180 at max. I cannot get more rivens. Where I can, but like a little annoying message will pop up saying, you must delete a riven before you play a mission or whatever. That is going to be going away. There's going to be a new thing like wreckage, kind of like with the Railjack ship, where there's going to be a little section right here. It's going to be like riven wreckage. It will be a separate little holding spot. So once you have room for the riven or whatever, you can go grab them out of the holding spot and put them in your actual riven inventory to unveil them. So you won't be seeing that annoying message anymore, hopefully. Beyond that, I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff, but yeah, it was a pretty bad dev stream if you ask me. We're just basically waiting for... Oh, there was no gardening, as we showed in the bingo card, so we're just waiting for TennoCon, I guess. Expect some more Destiny 2 videos on the channel from me. Because this is just not really, this is not enough, or maybe not enough, this is not a lot, how about that? They said don't expect Protea Deluxe until after TennoCon, no mention of Gyre, no mention of Nightwave, yeah, and the guy who does Pets 2.0 wasn't even there. I don't know, man, this is looking pretty bad. Hopefully you have stuff to do in the game, or you have some other games to play, because, yeah, I'm just trying to make it work, man. I'm just trying to make it work. Hopefully you guys found the video fun and helpful. I will be live probably later tonight, actually. And yeah, as far as my opinion on things, I can't believe we're making a lower level bounty. I really can't. It's like, you can't, like, they're just caving to, like, the noobs that they're not even noobs. They're actually just stubborn players, not even noobs. Stubborn players refusing to learn how to play the game. So we're getting low-level bounties when we should have a Steel Path bounty added. Steel Path bounties are a waste of time anyway because the acolytes don't even spawn during them, but it's just hilarious that this is like I think it's like the second or third time they've nerfed the level of the intro quest for Angels of Zariman, and now we're making a low-level bounty. And we're nerfing Eximus Overguard by 50%. We got a little bit of difficulty. Now, I'm not going to pretend like it was like completely perfectly balanced. It wasn't. But now we're like getting nerfed down again while we're running around with AoE rocket launchers with like 100% crit and like what's, dude, like I can't take it sometimes. It's like this game is getting babied more and more every update because of people that refuse to learn how to play the game. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy and peace.